you're just doing your homework, again, you can sell something with a smile, and the person buying it from you will be so appreciative on the other end, and you can both be happy. You don't have to do any of those bad things that people keep saying you got to do to get ahead.
I lead when I'm talking to potential clients that I'm here to consult with you and let you know what we're all about after you tell me about the positives and negatives of your business. And if you like what I'm talking about, if you like the idea of what we want to do, and you think it's going to help your business, then we can talk about other things. Because it's not really about selling. Sales, in my opinion, from what I've done, is about consulting and letting people know that you're in their corner and you want to hear it from them. Let them talk. And then it gives you a chance as they're talking to dissect the information and turn it around and take their talk and turn it into a positive instantly because you hear what they're saying.
And I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of us miss when we're trying to, particularly if you have a product or even if you have a service, you own a yoga studio, you're trying to bring your soaps to market, whatever the it is, that we're not actually listening to what our potential customer or client wants. We're trying to sell them on the value, the bells and whistles of what it is we have. And I think a lot of times what you'll hear and feedback you might get is, you are super knowledgeable about your thing, like that's your jam, but you actually don't know a thing about how I'm gonna use that thing, how I plan to come into your space, how I plan to use spots, how I plan to do any of the integration that's necessary. You didn't hear me. And so I think the biggest misconception, and sometimes reality for sales folks, is that we don't listen. And so if you're listening twice as much as you're talking in any conversation with a potential client, then you are really moving the ball down the field in terms of your ability to close.
So we need to make a little workshop. Can you provide all three of you, maybe one or two exploratory questions, right? That kind of when you're talking to a client, some quick questions that you want to ask them, so they feel comfortable at the same time make them feel like they're engaged. You guys are both engaged. You got maybe one or two questions each of you guys.
So when I talk to a potential client, I open up 99% of the time by looking at them and just saying to them, tell me what keeps you up at night about your business. The pluses and the minuses. What do you like, what don't you like, what are you trying to do to get more? Because it's always about more. But what keeps you up at night? What would you want to improve? Where do you really want to be? And just let them talk.
So I would basically ask them, first of all, how they heard about us, what their overall budget is, and I want to make sure that they're not overextending themselves. People tend to be getting to throw all their resources into something. This really leads back to the last question. I would always say, invest a little bit, and like the advice that Kashana gave is, see exactly what the customer is telling you, and pivot off of that. See exactly how you can adjust to the customer, and then throw more of your resources into that. So I want to make sure that they're not overextending themselves when they're renting an office here, just in case they do have a month or two that's stormy, that they can find their common, their right grounding. And at that point, if they have the extra resources to adjust, they'll be in a good position to continue growing their businesses.
And to add to that, during the sales process, because no is also an answer, and you have to have thick skin in this business. One of the things that I've learned is there are a number of reasons why somebody does or does not buy from you, especially does not buy from you. And there's a host of reasons, So I've heard, they don't like you, you're too expensive, they're not really sure. All those are good, but the money aspect is the first one when they say it's too expensive. That should be cast to the side, because that really doesn't mean anything. Because if anyone focuses on price in a conversation about advertising, and they say get to the bottom line, how much is it? Then they've devalued everything that you're going to say, and they've forgotten everything that you think you're going to say. It doesn't mean anything to them. But the biggest reason why someone doesn't buy from you is you haven't solved that problem. It doesn't matter if they hate your guts, if they think you're the worst person in the world. I mean, I've been on the other side of it. I've seen everything. It doesn't matter. If they're going to give you money and you're increasing their business, they'll find someone to do business with you so long as they can keep it going. So if you solve their problem, it doesn't matter what business it is, they will spend money with it. I guarantee it.
And I think one of the questions that I try to get at, because I operate from much more of a like intuitive space in the work that I do, I try to ask potential clients, what's the rock you're trying to move right now? And to see your question of what keeps you up at 3 a.m. What's like, you waking up hyperventilating like I do sometimes, okay? In the middle of the night. What is the rock you're actually trying to move down the field? Oftentimes, it may not even be the thing that you came to me for. And so what I try to do in a consultative capacity is be an expert, be a resource first. Because if you came to me for widget A, and actually I don't do that, and I actually will never do it, it's not my wheelhouse, do I have the network to be able to put you in the space with the expert who can and who does? Because oftentimes that will come back to you again in terms of post products and services and goods, et cetera. So I think that just offering yourself as a resource, even in a consultative capacity, goes a long way.
In this business, referrals get you a lot of your business. When you do right by someone and they tell someone else, they're gonna call you first.
And so if you take away the referral